All right, here we go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, of the Wilderness of Ire. That's a little bit misspelled, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. I mean, I think someone said it earlier. It's possible that this is how it's spelled in whatever native language of the map maker. It's possible. It's possible. Spawning in top left-hand corner, we have our Indian Zerg player representing Alpha X. It is Demi. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the Wilderness of Ire, we have his opponent. We have the Teal Zerg representing Alpha X. We haven't seen him in so long. The American Zerg. It is StarKiller. NA. StarKiller. Cool name. Fun fact. I remember people asking him. StarKiller did name himself StarKiller before the Star Wars games came out. Sorry, games? The Star Wars movie. StarKiller Base, that's like the Death Star in like episode 7. StarKiller did say that he had this name first. So he will sue Disney. Kappa. Kappa. Ugh. As we are getting into a pretty standard ZvZ here, hatch, gas pool, all around, which makes plenty of sense, especially on a larger map like this. Of course, we do have these speed zones which can affect things, and it could maybe influence things like 12 pool openers or 13-12s or 12-11s. That's always something to bear in mind, but I appreciate these two players for at least going for standard pool timings here. Nothing too crazy here to kick things off. The game, true, yeah. StarKiller, yeah. Force Unleashed. That's it. Look, I forgot that was his name. That's that's the name of Darth Vader's apprentice. True, Bobby, true. I remember. Oh. But yeah. Outside of this, getting into a relatively standard game. From here, we should be getting into our third bases. We should be getting into a bathing nest. And personally, I'm just really excited to see StarKiller again. Again, if you're more of a newer fan of StarCraft, StarKiller was a lot more active pre-COVID era of StarCraft. So around 2017, 2018, 2019, like that kind of 3-year period. Even 2016, StarKiller was far more active, playing in every single online tournament that he could get his hands on, playing in the NA Ladder Heroes as well, the Fear Dragon tournament. And yeah, it was really great to see him as active as he was, really on that grind, trying to break into the NA scene. But after a while, he kind of stepped away from the game, focused a lot more on, IRL commitments. Oh my god. As he is going wild, Bobby, he's gonna be walling off here on 2 ways. No! He tries to wall off, but the Ling slips on in and does scout the 2-base lair. Ay. A couple of seconds too late there to fully wall off. Demi does confirm everything, and this could be a couple of things. This could be 2-base Muta, it could be a 2-base Nidus all in, could be just 2-base Roach as well. Demi, I'm sure, is going to be keeping an eye on things and going to be looking to go for a follow-up scout to get an eye on the gases. Speaking of, we do have a second gas on the way. Demi is playing a much more standard fashion of ZvZ, going for his third base. Because he sees the wall off, there is no reason to throw down the Baneling Nest, so he's going for a Roach Warren, just skipping the Baneling Nest entirely. We're kind of avoiding the Lingbane portion of the game, going straight to Roaches, and we are actually making Roaches. We've only taken 2 gases as well, so this isn't going to be 2-base Spire. There it is, we have a Nidus. StarKiller going to be going all in. He does have an Overlord here on the right-hand side. He also has an Overlord edging towards the main base of Demi as well. And again, Demi is on notice. Soon he should be checking the front wall to see if Roach speed is being researched. He should even be checking for, again, the gases as well. But the Overlords aren't actually... I mean, Demi isn't really too concerned. He's just droning. He just doesn't care. He's got a couple of Roaches on the way. His Overlords are being spread out between his bases as well. So even if we did get a Nidus into the main, he should get eyes on it anyway. Yeah, the Queen even moving on forward as well, just in case. There is that Nidus that we were talking about, and immediately Demi is on it. Queens are from the low ground, from the high ground. The boys are being pulled as well. Roaches are being produced, and this Nidus is gonna go down, but... will anything come out? Oh, looks like it will finish. One Queen pops, and no, we don't get the transfuse. Oh, we were a couple of seconds off from that transfuse. The Nidus goes down. The Queens are exposed. And the Queens will get picked off. Ay, ay, ay. A massive loss here from StarKiller. The second Nidus finishes, but the Queens are already gone. There's only one left. And damage is being done, don't get me wrong, but now we've held. Demi just shuts this down. Again, really unfortunate that the 3 Queens popped out and they didn't get their transfuse off. I could be wrong. We're gonna need like an instant replay, but I believe that because the Lings were surrounding the Nidus, the Queens popped out further away from the Nidus actually, and because of that they weren't on creep and they weren't able to transfuse. I want to say that that's why we didn't see a transfuse, but because they were off of creep technically, I want to believe that that's the case. Otherwise, just a little bit of a slow reaction. With that, StarKiller is transitioning into a different kind of 2-base setup. He's taking all of his gases and he's going into a Spire. So from 2-base Nidus into a 2-base Spire, I mean, he's got to take the risk. Like, he has to do something. He doesn't have upgrades. He doesn't have roach speed. He has to do something crazy. There we go. He's throwing down his wall of spines. And this is going to be a tough hold for StarKiller. Demi, he's already counterattacking with his roaches. He will at least deny the 3rd base. He may even just go for the kill as well. StarKiller, the point of this third is really just to buy some time. Just to buy time for these spine crawlers to finish. And they're going to be able to soak up a couple of volleys here. Oh, but that's a kill, not a cancel. StarKiller, por favor. The spines are not quite done yet. The boys are being pulled, but Demi, he's already broken into the natural base. He has a +1 range. And even if we clean up these roaches, we are taking so many economic losses. And we're not going to clean up the roaches. It's not going to happen. GG gets called and Demi takes game number 1. Ooh. GG. Yeah, pretty solid game there out of Demi, being able to... I mean, again, even though he scouted the 2-base play, he was being pretty greedy. Like, he was droning quite heavily. He wasn't, like, cutting workers or cutting his 3rd to make roaches prematurely. Like, that was, he was cutting some corners there, which made the defense initially a little bit dicey, but he held on regardless. Oof. Nicely done here by Demi as he takes the first game, and now we get into game number 2. Número 2. We are going to be going back to Hellscape. Zerg or random? Oh, Zerg. Sorry, I don't know if it says random on the thing. My apologies if it's something else outside. But here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hellscape, we have the Indian Zerg player representing Alpha X. Oh my god. Going for a 12 pool. It is Demi. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hellscape, we have his opponent. We have the American Zerg player, the Teal Zerg representing Alpha X. It is StarKiller. Demi may be looking to reciprocate some of that damage. Like, mate, you want a 2-base all-in me? Let's go, Bobby. The gloves are off. The 12 pool is upon us. And yeah, we'll see how this works on Hellscape. You know, finally the rush distance is going to come into play here. Relatively short rush distance compared to some of the other maps, so this is going to hit quite heavily. But oh, yo, StarKiller is reading this like a book. He goes for a pool first. Very safe opener here by StarKiller. With this, he's going to have access to Lings and Queens very quickly. He should be safe against a 12 pool. Like, he should be fine. We'll see how heavily Demi commits, and there we go. He is going to be going into that natural as well. So again, 12 pools aren't all in by any means. 13 12s are, and 12 11s are, but 12 pools not so much. We're just going to be making a swell of Lings initially, looking to find some damage, looking to deny the natural, but because of the pool first here, Demi is going to have a hard time finding damage, and if he doesn't find economic damage or deny the natural, then Demi will be behind. As the Lings are on the way, Demi doesn't have eyes on things yet, but upon seeing that the natural isn't even done, he's going to recognize, oh, it was a pool first, and Yeah, he's going to have to be careful about that. The onus is on him to find that damage. Ling's going to be chipping away at the hatchery, but again, we have plenty here to dance with Demi. Oh, how good is the control? We pull a couple of boys just to make sure we don't get overwhelmed. And behind this, Demi is going to be droning. Again, Demi's still trying to catch up on that worker count. The other big thing and the other big deficit of a 12 pool, as you can imagine, is the lack of gas. StarKiller already has Ling speed on the way, so there's going to be a massive period here where StarKiller is going to have Ling speed over Demi. StarKiller could also go into a Baneling Nest. He can go into like a Ling Bane Bust or something from here, and put Demi even more on the back foot. So we'll see what StarKiller does do, as he doesn't pull out of gas. Oh yeah, there it is. He doesn't pull out of gas, and I imagine it's going to be for some tech. I'm feeling it. We'll see. We'll see. As StarKiller is a little bit supply blocked, and there it is. There is, oh, not a Baneling Nest, but a Roach Warren instead. Regardless, Demi is going to have to defend with pure Ling and pure Queen. Slow Lings as well. And it's kind of the disadvantage that he has put himself in. Demi gonna try and get some scouting information, but is gonna be denied entry into the natural. And try and catch back up. Again, typically off of a 12 pool, the Zerg player should also be skipping Ling speed and going straight into Roach production, just because we can't afford to like waste our gas because we have so little of it. There we go, he's going to be fully walling off here at his natural, but StarKiller already has Roaches on the way, and again, StarKiller has done a great job at denying the scouting here of Demi. Demi has no idea what's going on. For all he knows, it's 2-base lair again. It's like a Nidus or a Spire or something. Could be anything. Like, game 1 kind of set the tone for the series as, oh, I apologize, there we go. I will fix up the score. Demi is up 1-0. My apologies. Here we go. The Roaches are going to be pushing out across the map. Ling's going to be flooding in behind this as well. And Demi is aware now that he is in a lot of trouble. He's in a lot of danger. Oh boy. And yeah, I mean, we're going to have some Queens to defend. We have 4 Roaches on the way as well. But no Spine Crawlers, unfortunately. God, the Roach Warren is even under threat, and yes, StarKiller, he goes straight for the Roach Warren. We have a Spine Crawler being thrown down now, but it's going to be too little, too late. Demi maybe misreading the situation a little bit. I'm a little bit surprised that we saw a Spore of all things. Boys are going to be pulled, but we have plenty of Lings to buffer and to support the army of StarKiller. Ay. And with that, even if Demi holds on here, he's losing his workers. He's actually got a pretty comparable worker count compared to StarKiller. To be fair, he's going to be able to hold on. And from here, things are going to be settling down. So StarKiller did cut drone production for that Roach push, and it didn't kill Demi. It didn't break him in the end. The worker counts are looking pretty similar here, and both players are going into their lairs. Oh, let's go. But they're also going to +1 range as well, so it looks like we're going to be going into Roach versus Roach. Very unlikely to be going to Muta play. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have seen it. Yeah, Demi, he's not in a bad position now, you know? He's got +1 range that's about to finish up. He lost a lot of workers. He still is behind economically, but, you know, he's catching up. Demi has the resources for a 3rd base, and there we go. The drone is being sent out to take that 3rd. StarKiller opting not to, though. We'll see what he has in store for us. He has taken 3 gases. He's going to be working on Roach speed. Just a slightly later 3rd base. And with this, we're going to be getting into Roach versus Roach. Things will settle down. Despite the aggressive starts here from both players, or to be fair, the aggressive start from Demi and the attempted punish by StarKiller. Oh, both players do kind of bounce off each other. Demi going for a scout, confirming the timing of the lair. Doesn't see the Roach Warren researching, but sees the lack of gas in the main. So he should be feeling pretty confident that it's not going to be mutas. And here he's going to be going into 1/1+1 carapace already on the way. StarKiller going to be moving out before that happens. So the Spore actually finding some damage, gets an Overlord. Let's go. Okay. StarKiller going to be rotating over towards the third base. This is going to be scouted by Demi, by the creep, by the Overlords. He does have eyes on this. Again, no link speed, so we can't really surround this army. We can't really dive in. As there we go, roach speed is done for both players. Demi's going to try and dive on top of this army. He does have the defender's advantage. He does have more roaches popping out. And with that, it looks like he is going to be forcing StarKiller back. Oof. And Demi has quite a bit of momentum right now. He can keep on pushing. He has a massive roach lead. And I don't know if StarKiller is going to be able to hold. Ay. Here are the roaches of Demi rocking up. The third base is up. Is cut off here from StarKiller, but yeah, he doesn't care about the third. He's pushing up into the natural. The boys are being pulled because they have to be. They're being stuck behind the army, but there's that mineral walking that we were waiting for. And with the boys, it looks like StarKiller is forcing this back at least a little bit, but it's costing him a lot of drones. Ay. A lot of drones going to be going down. And from there, Demi is going to be able to have a bit of a lead. Quite a lead. His worker count's honestly skyrocketing compared to StarKiller. He can just keep on pumping out his roaches. He's got 1/1, +2 on the horizon. StarKiller is going to be able to hit a faster +2 timing, I guess. But I feel like Carapace kind of offsets that a little bit. And yeah, StarKiller is just going to be essentially going for an all-in. He's deciding not to drone up, not to saturate his natural. He has left the drone count as little as possible. As scarce as possible. And here we go. StarKiller is moving out. Looking at the Indus tab, we have an even roach count. StarKiller does have a bit of a lead when it comes to the Ravagers. But pushing up a ramp, pushing into a concave is always going to be a tough ask. And Demi is going to have enough to force his opponent back. Dodges the vials as well. Again, these choke points, these ramps, it's just a little bit too difficult to push in. And we did mention earlier that Hellscape was one of the more defensible maps that we were getting our eyes on, compared to some of the others, like this third base and even this fourth base as well, looking pretty damn defensible. And we can see that here. It's going to be difficult for either player, but regardless, Demi does have the supply advantage, a massive supply advantage, can force himself up the ramp. Miles going to be holding on though. Demi still trying to power his way through. And he does make his way up that ramp. StarKiller not quite in position. Why? Because Demi went for a bit of a roach run by, did pull apart the attention of StarKiller. And he does force himself up the ramp. Biles, no! Oh, that was StarKiller's Biles. He takes down some of his own overlords. And the third base is exposed. There wasn't really too much mining going on here anyway, but it is going to be going down. There's just too much Zerg, too much Demi. GG, well played. Good luck gets called, and Demi will take game number 2. Oh, GG. But shout out to StarKiller. You know, even wishes Demi luck in the next round. Feels good, man. Feels good. As Demi does take it here on Hellscape. Ooh, and moves on to the next round. GG, puppy. GG.